Okay, so sheet number 4, the room items sheet. Now, this is one we need to go through in detail because there's a lot of assembly on here. Obviously, everything, like all the sheets, is kind of labelled up. Okay, it is pretty straightforward, but there's a couple of things to go through. So let's start with complicated ones, something like a crate. Okay, so grab a crate. Here's a crate here. And basically all you've got, pop that out, pom pom, pom pom, like so. And on the crate here, you might have a little bit of adjustment. This one's not too bad actually, but you might have a little bit of adjustment to make on the slots here. And you've got a half cut here and here, so you pop that down like so. And you might want to just bend it past a little bit. So yeah, there it is. You might want to make a little bit of adjustment on some of these little bits here. And again, once you've done that, and if you're going to do any sort of colouring, and you do that little edge, the edge gluing technique, that'd be fine. You need to make an adjustment. Just pop your knife on here, pop, and it's out. Okay, it just widens that slot just a little bit there, and you can do it if you need it. See this one here, that one's, I'm not sure if that one needed it really, but this one here does seem a little bit tight, so you can just make a little nip in there. This one, not sure if that really needs it. Just do it, just have a look, something like that. On here, I'm looking here, I'm not sure, maybe that side. A little bit on here, that side there, maybe just a little bit. You can just take a little bit of extra card off there. This is the great thing about card. You can make this so it's absolutely perfect. And again, I don't know, maybe a little bit on there. Just here. There we go. Okay, so, and again, you then grab your bits, take it on here, and just very carefully slot it in. It's probably going to be a little bit stiff when you first do it. If you get a bit stuck, a bit of card starts to snag, just grab it and give it a little bit of a wobble. That's one side in, and then back into the other side. Very carefully, just easing it in. Okay. Remember, once you put this together, you're not going to need to take it apart. Carefully pop it in, making sure it's over the little slots on both sides. Yeah, that's fine, I think that's it. On that side. Down. There we go. And that's it. That makes a nice little crate. Solid. A couple of crates. And again, that's it. Once you've done that, you really don't want to be taking that apart again. It will come apart. Okay, so it's fine, but it just doesn't seem any reason why you would need to take it apart. So, okay, brilliant. There you go. That's the crate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Next one is the clone chamber. You can see here, spread across the sheet, one part there, here and here. So if we nip these bits out, I'm just popping these out. You might want to be a bit more careful, okay. So again, on the clone chamber, looking at here, we've got looking at some of the slots. This one here probably might give a little bit of adjustment on these bits here. Those bottom bits seem okay. And sometimes, again, a bit like the doorways, we've made sure this is high enough so there's a bit of tension on here, but you can always just nip those back a little bit. But don't do it straight away. Just have a look and see, you know, you can just grab it and just see what the kind of fit's like. So I'm going to just widen this a little bit. We really don't want these to be too loose, you see. So we don't want to tool it so it's loose. A little bit of adjustment is always good. It's a bit like you're flashing on your figures. You don't mind if there's a little bit there, you know, and you can take it down to where the detail is, but you don't want air bubbles. It's the same with this basically. Let's have a look, so I could adjust that a little bit. Whoops. The more time you take sort of preparing your set, the better it's going to be once it's all together, as it were. And of course with the clone chamber, you've got this kind of option to assemble it either this way, or you can reverse it and assemble it this way with a sort of the cracked image. And this is where you're going to get that have a look at the video about using glue, because if you then protect these parts, it becomes like plastic. It really does it really will kind of slot. So here we did it here, and we've got this. It's like plastic now because we put a little bit of glue on the edge, and it just means it comes apart and slots together as many times as you want, really. So if you want to change it, turn it over. We'll assemble this as the cracked piece. Slot it into the bottom first, all the way down, and then just take the top part and let that pop across the top. Same on the other side. Just slot it down here to the bottom, and then let the top bit just pop on. And that's how you assemble the clone chamber. Okay, cool. So that's the clone chamber. What else have we got? One clone chamber on the sheet. This here, the command screen, is absolutely the same as the clone chamber. Okay, so you just pop the parts out, and if we have a look over here, if you look at the clone chamber, it's basically the same. We changed this angle underneath, but the way it works is exactly the same. You've got a slot at the top, okay, and you just slot it in one way and clip it across the top. Okay, so, and like the clone chamber, you have a choice of how you want to assemble it. If you want the cracked screen, and you've got one side which is okay here and one side which is all damaged up, so you then swap it round, put it on one side, and swap it round, put it on the other side, and that's how you get it. And then you've got that kind of choice of how you want to assemble it. So again, that pops together exactly the same as the clone chamber. What have we got left? Conduit. This is a tricky one, but it looks wicked when it's finished. So let's show you what we need to do here. Pop, 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 pop. Now the tooling on this is just amazing, because these parts here are really small, really fiddly. So it does mean they're kind of weak, and again, once you've adjusted them, this is a perfect, thing. I haven't done it on this. This is the perfect bit where you want to really maybe edge glue these. Even though you're not going to be taking them apart, you might want to just do that little edge gluing just to bulletproof this thing up. Okay, so it'll be these little parts here. So you take one of these. That might just need a little widening, so you widen it there, so that it's kind of comes apart nice and easily. If you're going to actually, let's do it on here. If you've got, when you assemble this, what's really important is, well, slightly important is to get it in the right, assemble it in the right way. You've got cuts across here, okay, so you've got it here, you just give it a little bit of a bend and you'll feel the cuts come into place, okay, like so, and what you want to do is take your back piece first, okay, and just kind of carefully slot that in, okay, and then on your other piece carefully slot it in, a bit like doing the clone chamber really. So you get it to here, and then on here you've got a large grey bit that goes up to the large grey bit at the back here, and the bit with the pipes on is the bit that sort of goes on here, and so then you carefully pop it onto those bits there. This is a bit looser because I've put it together a few times, and then that goes on there. And there you go. Nice and simple. As for where it goes, it's obviously it's a wall piece like the clone chamber and that, and it just sticks onto a wall like so. Nice and simple. What have we got left on this sheet here? So the only thing we've got left to show you how to assemble are these V consoles, which are absolutely dead simple basically. So let's pop one of those out, and we'll take a couple of these off. There you go. And again, if you think it needs adjustment, just pop it on there and you think, well, does that need adjustment? Do I need to adjust that when I'm putting it on? It's a bit stiff, it's too stiff. Then you can adjust it. I'm going to just force that one on there. That's that bit there. And again, one on here as well. It's a bit tight. Get away with it, I think. Yeah, there we go. And again, why not edge glue them, just to give it that sort of super strength, as it were. Nice and simple. So various different ones of those that you can get. There's actually 3 of those on the sheet. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. That is the that's all the bits and pieces that you get on this particular sheet here. You're going to get, if you're on the Kickstarter, yeah, well, basically in a normal standard set, you'll get a couple of sheets of that. So job done. So that is the sheet. On to the next one.